This podcast is part of the Zero to Hero Podcast Network.
You stay right here.
The world is very lucky to have you, and so am I. May the power protect you, always.
We heard the voices. We can hear them. We can touch them. We're gonna find out who they really are.
Well, now that's a terrible idea. I'm gonna do that one more time because I felt like I sloshed it.
I don't want to say as a purist, but as somebody who's stuck with the book for as long as I have, it's kind of lame for me. But I mean, like I said, I will be reading, so they're
not going to pull you away from it. They're still going to do it. They still got you by the nose.
Yeah.
There you
go. So now the question I have here, this is a key pivotal moment right here.
Oh no.
So after reading, say you read a bunch of comics, right? And you go to a store, like a Target or a Walmart, and you see an action figure of a comic that you read. Do you pick that up or do you just walk on by?
The answer used to be yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like when I first became a Wednesday warrior, so to speak, in the early to mid 2000s, the first set of action figures I ever picked up as a collector were based on that Batman Hush storyline. They were based on Jim Lee's drawings. I had almost all of them, and they would sit on a shelf in either my dorm room or my room at home forever. And I still do have them. It's just that I have a wife and two kids.
Ah, okay.
I don't know if you guys know, but it's one of those things where like your resources are occasionally diverted elsewhere from a financial standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know this thing. No, we're
Thanks everyone for flipping through the pages of the latest 8th Day comic and finding the Zero to Hero podcast advertisement. Full page ad. And it's the
We're gonna be
it's
there.
It's the centerfold where it folds out, and it's just us crying in multiple positions of the pages.
And the last one is gonna be us in dad bod like t-shirts, right?
Yes. Total dad bod club.
Damn right.
All right. So, as tonight, I did a comic reference. We have a new guest on tonight, all the way from Wisconsin.
Get the land of cheese in
the
Culver's.
land. We have Rob from TikTok, and what's your channel's name, Rob?
Comic Book Chronicles.
And absolutely love it. If you have not watched his stuff, I feel that you should be ashamed.
You're telling me to go get on TikTok. Like, no, I'm not going to do it. You can't tempt me.
Give them your information.
You don't have one?
No,
I have a TikTok. I just don't get on it.
Oh, no, you know what? My wife, Laura, who I love dearly, was a TikTok nut. Uh-oh. And literally we'd be sitting next to each other and she'd be on TikTok instead of talking to me, which, all things considered is probably the better move on her part. But, for whatever reason, less than a year ago, I finally got one. And literally, I think my first TikTok was me looking into the camera just saying, I hate this thing already.
Oh.
And it grew on me. What can I say? It grew on me.
Yeah, and there you go. Yeah. And what your content is actually unique to me, because for somebody that doesn't read comics and seen shows, that you actually dive into a little recap of certain comics that I never thought were a thing.
Yeah, I try to be informative, insightful, and entertaining. The two I's and E, so to speak. And ideally, every one of my videos will have at least one of those, if not all three. So we do our best at the Comic Book Chronicles household.
Oh, well, that's what Well, I saw your original video was like that you want to do like a podcast with somebody. I was like, well, that's like right up our alley. And then when I followed you, I started watching your stuff and I was like, hey, this is really interesting. And now every time I see it in the feed, smashing the like button because that's
I
always.
appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, the Zio to Hero podcast. Now you guys are the bulk and skull of podcasting. Is that right?
That is
Officially
correct.
on Google as well too. I'm so proud of that.
Officially on Google.
Well, it's interesting because I've been told I'm the Elgar of TikTok. So it's
what?
yeah.
Elgar?
You have a sword made up playing cards. Please tell me you do.
Please.
Well, no, and just like Elgar, I'm very white, and for some reason, I'm always standing next to a hot chick in my scenes. So it's a shout out to my wife.
Wait. Hold on. Elgar is from Turbo, right?
Turbo
Yeah.
in space, yeah.
Okay, I just
Going
had to
in
refresh.
space.
I had to refresh my memory. Okay, Elgar.
There you go.
That's great. Dang, now we just need a Goldar and a Squat and Babu. Jim, you know where we're going with this, right?
Oh yeah. Mhm.
Where are we going?
We could be Squat and Babu as our secondary.
Oh, there you go.
And we're gonna do a podcast of evil at some point. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There, hey,
Okay.
the United
Wait,
Podcast.
podcast of redemption. That's what we're gonna go with.
There you go.
Oh, that
we
is.
we can only have evil characters who turn up being good. So we need a Jared. We have a Jared. We're doing good.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
There you
All
go.
right. Well, thanks, Rob, for joining us tonight for this episode. Let's get right into it. Where does your childhood trauma start with with comics?
Trauma. Oh my God. Well, you talk about opening a cosmic dumpster.
Boom, that's.
No, which I mean, in terms of like where my interest in comics started.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
I think, like a lot of people, my gateway drug into comics was Batman. I don't remember when or where I saw the Adam West Batman show for the first time, but I remember one time I'm walking through a Jewel Osco in Orland Park, Illinois, which is where I lived at the time, and I saw I believe it was Batman issue 482 on the stands. It was by, I mean, I didn't know it at the time, but it was written by Marv Wolfman and drawn by Jim Aparo.
Okay.
So I was I didn't know it at the time, but I was in pretty good hands.
Yeah.
As a young comic book geek. But, that was the first comic book I ever picked up. I think I must have been 7,
Oh
8
wow.
maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't start collecting comics and becoming a Wednesday warrior, so to speak, until I got to be in high school. So like around, God help me, I graduated in 2003. So that was the year that it all began.
Oh, okay.
03, the year you fell. Fell from
That was
The
it.
year I fell, and I still can't get up.
It's been an uphill battle.
It's like, while you're down there, can you get that seat on the floor for me? I haven't been able to get that in years.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
So do you?
My first issue that I ever picked up in the comic shop was, oddly enough, Batman 608 by Jeff
Oh.
Loeb and Jim Lee. That's the first issue of the Batman Hush story arc.
Oh, yes.
You,
Okay.
you trivia buffs at home.
Okay. And is that's what started it right there. The collection.
I think I don't remember how I knew it was going to be in the comic shop. Maybe I saw it in like a magazine, or like not a magazine, but like online somewhere. But yeah, it brought me into my local comic shop.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, shout out to Amazing Fantasy Books and Comics in Tinley Park, Illinois.
Oh wow. Are you specifically one genre, or do you collect like DC, Marvels, outside that?
I mean, it used to be that I was pretty exclusively in the DC camp. Because like I said, Batman was my gateway drug.
Right.
So, from Batman you go to Robin and you go to Nightwing, and then I think from there it was Superman and Green Lantern and Wonder Woman was in there, and that was me for maybe 5 years.
Oh wow.
But then I started you know, I think I'll always be more of a DC guy than I am a Marvel guy, if I must be honest, just because they were what I grew up on. But
It's understandable.
yeah,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
mean, but I think my gateway into Marvel was Ultimate Spider-Man.
Okay,
Mm.
fair enough. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, by Bendis and Bagley. That's
Yeah.
I think I said in a video recently that they're they have one of the best extended runs in the history of that character.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wow.
I find it a little bit difficult to I guess for lack of a better term penetrate certain story dimension like it's hard for me to get into the X-Men because there's so many of them.
Mm.
Yeah.
And
That's understandable.
they're on an island, they're not on an island anymore, and then where's
It's kind of hard to get because there's so much backstory, and they don't really do reboots for X-Men either.
no, I mean
So it's
Does
just
Marvel
continue.
yeah, and you know what? I can respect that.
Yeah.
I can respect, keeping your story going, but at the same time, you got to make it accessible for a guy like me.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
and I'm a guy who wants to get into your stuff, so it's
That just
ask his wife.
exactly. We'll get her on here. Ask her.
yeah.
But no, I mean, I guess to answer your question, no, I'm not exclusively one camp or the other, though I confess that my channel probably does have a little bit of a DC slant to it.
Okay. Yeah. So when we were kids, we would they would give us these. There was a guy that would come to like our Boy Scout camping,
camp, yeah.
and he
That
would
dude
give
was
us
so cool. He was handing out comics.
yeah, he would hand us like first edition comics, and it was like old school Ren and Stimpy or like
Oh,
Captain
wow.
America.
The
Yeah.
one that solidified me in the comics was he gave me the first issue of Max.
Mm-hmm.
First
And
issue
like
of Max.
yeah, Max. You ever see Max? Like the big purple dude with like the knife hand things.
Doesn't immediately ring a bell, but now I gotta
Okay.
look it up.
Yeah, look it up. Okay, so like he gave me that, and it solidified
Yeah.
like comics for me forever because it was a really pretty looking comic, and it was a War Machine. It gave me a War Machine comic, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that's what he would do. He'd just come and hand us. I didn't think nothing about it, and then I kind of got into the whole comics whenever I found out the Power Rangers released the Shattered Grid. That's when I started collecting them. But
Yeah.
I was like, all right. And then boy, I'm in a hole now. As you see,
only 30 years.
There you go.
Oh yeah,
He's got a lot of catching up to do.
I got a lot of catching up. But yeah, and I'm not a physical kind of reader. I like to listen to it. So there's a guy that I follow on YouTube that actually like narrates them. So like he used to. He doesn't do the Power Ranger comics anymore, but Comic Storian.
Yeah, that's pretty
I've heard of him.
Yeah, so I listen to his stuff. He'll narrate it.
Nice.
Yeah. Dramatic readings, it's really good.
Yeah, so I've been up on that.
By the way, there's one I need to send it to you. There's the Death of Spider-Man, which was narrated, and it was beautifully done. And I have to send it to you. It's really good. The Death of Spider-Man is a really, really good story. It's an ultimate arc. Hence, it's where we get Miles Morales. That was a really good arc. Like, oh my goodness, oh beautiful. And I'll send it to you at some point.
I think I have that first issue where Miles shows up. I'm not going to tell you where, but I think I have it somewhere in the archives.
That literally that arc made me like tear up the first time I read through it. I was like emotional. I was like,
yeah, that's still Bendis at that point, right? So yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, Brian Bendis has his critics, and I've been one of them sometimes. But
yeah,
I mean, just one of the best pure Spider-Man writers that I've ever read.
You're not gonna cry. I swear, you're gonna cry.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
The one thing about comics, though, is they're easy to store.
They can. Well, it depends on how much you have. That's
true. Yeah.
It's a volume issue. I mean, I've got. I think I might be a bad father, because.
You left your kids outside?
I said that. No, because we keep a lot of my archives in my 2-year-old daughter's room. Because my father-in-law, bless his heart, he built me like a like a card catalog looking thing to
Yeah.
store a lot of my back issues in. And the trouble with that thing is you're not going to get it down a flight of basement stairs.
Oh
It's
No.
no.
just not going to happen. So for right now, it's landlocked to my daughter's room. So as we speak, my daughter is hopefully slumbering peacefully across from my Power Rangers comic books.
Yes.
So to move that's where you hire movers. You
Yeah,
don't do it
well,
yourself.
Yeah,
I'm also
yeah.
notoriously cheap, so there's that too.
Oh no.
I threw my back out one too many times. Told people move their
Yeah.
stuff. Not again.
Not again. All right. So when did your the thought of like an idea? Was your channel always a channel before TikTok, or did you create the channel as a TikTok?
I for many years I wrote on my own little fan site. It's called primaryignition.com. It's still up, though it mostly now serves as a place where people can find my TikToks. And I would write about comic books and pro wrestling basically. Because those were the two things that I, really from a fanboy perspective at least was passionate about. And I was still doing it as of I think last spring. And the thing about it is it I don't do what I do for this sounds weird to say, but I don't do what I do for accolades or likes or stuff like that. I do it because I like to do it and I'm passionate about it.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel like the website was gaining any traction. So I just sort of felt like, well, okay, this TikTok thing, it's something new, it's something different, and all else fails, I won't do it anymore. And I started out, I think I started out just posting action figure videos. When I would get a new acquisition in from the Lightning collection, like I would put that up.
Okay.
And it was just kind of a general me channel. And then one day I think it was a Green Arrow comic book I just decided I wanted to talk about. So I set up this little ring light thing in my basement, and I just stood in front of it and I held the book and I just talked about it. And it was fun enough. And then I started kind of progressively doing it more, and I learned how to play. I'm not technically sound whatsoever. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, just getting me on a Discord server was an adventure in itself.
So proud of you.
I'm so proud.
There you go. But no, I mean it. I learned how to play with images and learned how to play with captions. So it's been fun to learn, and I've been doing it less than a year now. And I don't have a giant audience per se, but it's satisfying to me that there are people watching me.
Yes.
And that there are people who are interested, and that my the like numbers and the follower numbers do slowly but steadily tick up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I see that myself. Yeah. And you could tell, like, when you do the wide variety of your comics, you can actually what brand or what superhero does better than the others with like view ratings and your likes and stuff.
Yeah, I think Spider-Man is pretty big in my neck of the woods. I think Batman will always be pretty big in my neck of the woods. But occasionally, like an indie comic, like the algorithm will catch it. Like there was a book not long ago called "Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees." From, I believe it was Image Comics. It's a book about like a world of anthropomorphic animals.
Okay.
And one of those anthropomorphic and they live like people. They wear clothes. They live in a town. And one of those animals is a serial killer.
Oh dear God!
Yeah,
serial killer with rhyming. Oh man, people eat that up.
I mean that bear does something to a duck that you can't unsee. Let me tell you. But yeah,
it can't be shown on TikTok.
No, it can't go anywhere. But no, I mean it for whatever reason it ticked up into 4 digits, and okay. So that's why I don't. I'm trying to branch out more and have more variety. I don't want to just do the capes and spandex stuff. Not that there's anything wrong. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But I've been trying these past couple weeks. I've been trying to do more indie comics.
Okay.
And when I say indie comics, I'm talking about really small operations. People who get their books funded through Kickstarter. People who are really doing this on a small level. Like a couple of weeks ago, I did a book called California Inc. By the folks at 12/7 Comics.
Oh wow!
Then last week I did a book called Kaijus and Cowboys.
Yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah,
or as I call it, Kaijus and Cowboys. Shout out to Frankie B. Washington, who I hope is listening. And then as we're recording, I reviewed 4 issues of a series called Digital, which is about an artificial intelligence that conquers the planet. And
oh god,
yeah, poignant.
Yeah.
So I'm trying. Superheroes will always be part of what I do,
Yeah.
but I don't want to put all my eggs in that basket, if you know what I mean.
Yes, it'll get too stale.
Yeah, exactly.
My question is, with doing the more indie stuff, have you found some new favorites?
New favorites,
new favorite comics. Like you're like, oh, this one's solid. I love this one. Like new, like little, like
little gems.
Like the one-offs, like the ones you're like, that was beautiful. I loved it. Thank you.
Well, like I said, I liked Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. I thought that was not just because it was good for me, but because I like the dynamic of that book is interesting because I don't know. It's basically a small town serial killer story, which we've seen before, and I don't know how well it works if it's not with anthropomorphic animals.
Yeah,
but it is. So it's really it's a really creative book, a really fun book to read. There's also you guys know who Scott Snyder is?
Oh yeah, heard of that name.
Scott Snyder, he's a famous Batman writer who's also done all sorts of different things at DC, but he has a book through IDW Publishing right now called Dark Spaces Dungeon.
Okay.
And it's basically Dark Spaces : Dungeon. Like it's a Dungeon is a subsidiary of the Dark Spaces series.
Okay.
And basically, it's about a guy who, it's not a pretty subject, but he takes people down into dungeons and tortures them. And we've got to find out who this guy is and stop him and all. It's an interesting sort of detective / serial killer profile story.
I think we got a vibe for you, man. We're calling the cops.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Oh man, I didn't even think about that.
He's up in Wisconsin. There's nowhere to go for 6 weeks a year.
Jeez. Is my family going to listen to this? I wonder if my family's going to listen to this. They're going to think something's wrong with me. Okay.
I do say that IDW has some pretty good comics that come out of there, and I really enjoy their Ninja Turtle ones.
Yes,
those were fantastic. Yeah,
absolutely, and they're that series launched, I think, the same month that DC. I think the same month that DC launched their New 52 reboot back in 2011, and I've got every issue of the main series. So I mean, I've been with it since, and I did a video recently where I kind of bitched and moaned about how they're relaunching it this coming summer with like a new #1 and yeah, we're gonna do issue 150 and then we're gonna relaunch it with Jason Aaron as the writer and no good.
Well, damn, that sucks. That you got to start back over.
Well, no, they're keeping with the same continuity and the same story that they've been telling. It's just that basically I think that if you're keeping with the same continuity and the same story, that issue 151 works just as well as a new #1. Especially if you advertise it. and let people know, hey, this is what's going on. We've got a big writer, Jason Aaron, coming on. He's going to have a revolving door of different artists for his first several issues, and so it's going to be interesting to see. I just wish that they hadn't surrendered to the old trope of relaunching, because that it's about
they're trying to catch those people who are interested in comics but haven't read them yet.
Yeah.
Because you're sitting there, you're looking at a 150 or like 148 right, or 130 or something like that right now. Like there's 130 other comics I have to read to catch up with this. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You catch at number one, you're fine. Like, you're coming on number one, and it's not too bad. And there's a lot of backstory. Okay, cool. But like you can Google most of it, or like they can put like little things on the bottom of the panel, like this is what happened, and this is a reference to this. And I know Spider-Man does that sometimes. It's to catch those people who are interested. That's all it is. It's like a marketing thing. And it's DC. They need all the help they can get.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think I even said, like, I understand that that's not how staying with 151 isn't necessarily how the comic book industry works or how people work, but just I don't want to say as a purist, but as somebody who's stuck with the book for as long as I have, it's kind of lame for me. But I mean, like I said, I will be reading, so they're
not going to pull you away from it. They're still going to do it. They still got you by the nose.
There you go.
So now the question I have here, this is a key pivotal moment right here.
Oh no.
So after reading, say you read a bunch of comics, right? And you go to a store like a Target or a Walmart, and you see an action figure of a comic that you read. Do you pick that up, or do you just walk on by?
The answer used to be yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like when I first became a Wednesday warrior, so to speak, in the early to mid 2000s, the first set of action figures I ever picked up as a collector were based on that Batman Hush storyline. They were based on Jim Lee's drawings. I had almost all of them, and they would sit on a shelf in either my dorm room or my room at home forever. And I still do have them. It's just that I have a wife and 2 kids.
Ah, okay.
I don't know if you guys know, but it's one of those things where like your resources are occasionally diverted elsewhere from a financial standpoint.
Mm-hmm. And we don't know this thing. No, we don't have kids.
Well, there's something to be said. I love my kids. I adore my kids, but there's something to be said for that, my friend.
I love you, children, but you're all terrible. Just terrible. The worst. I love you, but you're the worst.
Jim, that's how you don't do that, Jim. That's destroying future.
That's what I told my dog. Is like, I love you, but you're the worst. And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, you're an idiot.
I'm gonna try that on my 4-year-old before she goes to school tomorrow and see what she says to me. I love you, but you're the worst.
Yeah.
Let us know. I want to know what happens. I want to know if CPS gets called or not.
I was gonna say, if they're not called, somebody will get called.
Like, just go wreck them.
Like either CPS gonna get called or your wife's gonna get called, and she's gonna know what you did.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't. Oh boy, but no, I mean, excuse me, I'm definitely tempted. Believe me. I mean, I think. I don't love everything that the McFarlane Toys line has done with DC, but I saw, and I didn't love the story 3 Jokers. Do you guys know that story?
Yes. Oh yeah. I've heard of that one.
Yeah, they did a bunch of toys based on, I think it was Jason Fabok's art in that story, and like I said, I didn't love the story itself, but I loved his designs, and I was really tempted to pick those up. I think Hasbro, while a very flawed company, does some great work with Marvel. I think they did some great work with Power Rangers on the toy front.
I'll agree with that. Mm-hmm.
I mean, the 2 lines that I will sort of cherry pick to this day are the Star Wars The Black Series line, which I've got a bunch here in my. If you look occasionally in my videos, if I move, you'll see I'm standing in front of a bunch of Star Wars Black Series action figures.
Uh-huh. Seen
And
it.
the Power Rangers Lightning Collection is the other one.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you look at my videos, I think right behind my giant bulbous German head, you can see a bunch of the Mighty Morphin figures.
Yeah. Are those the
And
basic or the metallic ones?
those are the basic ones.
Okay, okay.
No, nothing against the metallic ones. I just, I'm a basic guy. And then across the room, there's a bunch. There's like a shelving unit with the other stuff. I'll send you a picture if you want.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
as
so,
you,
I mean,
as you can see, I'm already deep in it there.
yeah, I was gonna say, man, I don't have the space or the shelving resources to do what you guys do, but man, I would love to. I
Oh
would love
boy,
it.
I always liked the McFarlane figures of the Batmans, and I'm always tempted to buy something from McFarlane, but until I realize that it won't fit my pocket, like the box. So I'm like, well, I can't outrun security. I'm fat,
No.
so
No, well, oh dear. Yeah,
Jordan got his number too. Like,
Yeah,
he's
so-
only a couple things away from
So I
from when the
can't-
costume called.
yeah. So
oh
I'm always,
boy.
yeah, it was always struck. Oh man, as we talk about the Power Ranger toys, boy, we got to get into this. Did you watch Power Rangers from the beginning, or did you catch it later on?
The first episode, I didn't get it in from the beginning. The first episode that I saw, I don't remember when I saw it or where I saw it, but it was, and forgive me, I'm horrible with episode titles. It's the Terror Toad episode. I think the episode was called Power Ranger Punks.
Okay.
That's that episode where Babu he creates a punk potion, and he somehow slips it into Billy and Kimberly's drinks.
That's
And,
right.
yeah, like the whole episode,
That's
they act
where
like
Billy becomes the greaser and Kimberly becomes, an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, and I just it was a combination of the action and the bright colors and the drama involved, and there was comedy. It had a little bit of everything.
It made your child brain scream that you wanted it.
Kind of, yeah. And it was one of those things that I just I love the Ninja Turtles. I will forever love the Ninja Turtles, and I was a Ninja Turtle diehard at that point. Everything was Ninja Turtles. But after I saw that, the whole
until the day you saw Billy the Greaser.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the ironic
And
thing is
your Timothy wall fell down.
there you go. And the ironic thing is I might get to meet both Amy Jo Johnson, who played Kimberly, and David Yost, who played Billy, at C2E2 in a couple of months. So
Yes.
Get the VIP pass.
Yeah.
If they offer it, get it.
Because we didn't get it.
Go stand in line.
Really?
Just get the VIP pass to be done with it.
Yeah, we stood in line for like 3 hours to meet Amy Jo, and we couldn't even say a word to her because it was so busy. So
Yeah, I believe it.
In and out, and we couldn't even get in the line for David Yost or
Johnny Young Bosch.
Johnny Young Bosch. It was so
You're-
long, but yeah, VIP pass.
I've been fortunate enough. I've never done the VIP thing, but I've had brief encounters, and I've had things signed by Austin St. John, Walter Jones, David Yost, Johnny Young Bosch, Jason Frank, God rest his soul. And I have a blurry photo with Steve Cardenas,
Okay.
which I hope I get to fix one day. But I've never. I've always wanted the opportunity to meet Amy Jo, and I never have.
It's super nice. Just
yeah.
Whenever she shows up the places, the lines normally are super long.
Yeah,
I believe.
Of course.
Every teen, like every man our age who had a crush on her at one point. So yeah,
Which is every man
it's
our age.
worth it.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
And she doesn't have a person
every
that
man
helps her.
our age and our father's age.
There you go.
She usually has her sister that does like the paperwork for her.
Oh, really?
And, they're identical twins. Identical.
Really?
Yeah, you'll get up and be like, Amy, you're taking payments?
Do you think it'll be
like?
Will it be any cheaper to just get a photo with her sister?
Yeah, for real. For real.
See, I'll just put a morph in her sister's hand. We'll do it there.
I'm sorry, can I get a photo of your sister? Why? Because I'm an accountant.
There you go.
This is my jam.
There you go.
Yeah. Boy, we
Yeah.
met. I got to meet Jenna Frank the other day at last
Really?
weekend. Yeah. She's a physical touch person. Like, I'm not. I don't like hugs or nothing, but she hugged me like 12 times in 10 minutes.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, what do I
You gave
was like,
her
sitting there.
free stuff.
Yeah, I gave her free stuff. So
Oh, yeah.
The only way it would have been better if you gave her a Stanley Cup.
Oh, there
dear
you
God. Dear God.
You gave
No,
her a
not-
Yeti, and
But not
What-
just a Stanley Cup, but the actual NHL Stanley Cup. Just gave it to her.
Yeah. I mean, go all the way, man. Get her the NHL one.
There you go. See?
How old is Jenna Frank?
She's 19.
She's 19.
Yeah,
Man,
19.
wow.
Yep.
This
That's
is
right.
This is gonna be a weird couple years.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Dear God, Jim.
No,
No,
I'm
I
just
mean-
saying, like, at that age, you do weird things and say weird stuff that comes back to bite you later.
Until
No,
you're
like,
25.
everyone-
Once you hit 25 and legally able to rent a car, then it's just downhill from there.
There you go.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's right. You're good, and you hit that hump, and like done.
I mean, we wish her
All
well,
downhill.
but he's not wrong.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
Me and my partner, like 19 through 25, we did some stupid things.
Oh God.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, did you pick up the Power Ranger comics as soon as they dropped, or like, were you like me? You found out after Shattered Grid, and then you started going back and picking up Shattered Grid.
No, I was in right away. Kyle Higgins is from Illinois, I believe, and I had read his work on, I think it was 2016, I believe, was the year that the Boom Studios Power Ranger comics originally dropped, and I had read his work on Nightwing at that point, and
Okay.
not only that, but I was transfixed by those helmet covers that Goni Montez drew.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, I
And-
love those.
Yeah, those are gorgeous. I was fortunate enough to get a Red Ranger one. There weren't any Green Ranger ones left at the time, or White Ranger ones.
Yeah, I don't have
But,
those.
I was fortunate. Fortunate enough to get a Red Ranger one. And the Boom Studios comic books, they have their pros and cons for me. I have to say that my favorite Power Ranger comic books that Boom Studios has ever done are represented in the Go-Go Power Rangers series that Ryan
Those are
Parrott
pretty
did.
solid, yeah.
Yeah, that Ryan Parrott did. I think initially he did it with Dan Mora,
Yes.
and I think
Okay.
Daniel DeNiccolo was on that book too, I believe. But yeah, I enjoyed those books so much to the point that when I had the chance to meet Dan Mora at C2E2 and get him to sign some stuff, well, there was a litany of Superman and Batman stuff I could have had him sign.
Oh.
I made a point to get him to sign a couple issues of Go-Go Power Rangers. So that's how highly I thought and think of that run.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that I think my favorite Boom Studios Power Ranger stories are usually collected in the anthology issues, but like the annual issues and the anniversary
Yeah.
issues. They're shorter, but they're more concise. Maybe is the word I'm looking for. Like I think that
they don't require a lot of extra bits to it. Like
Right.
you can read it and have a good time. You don't
Yeah.
you don't have to have read every other comic.
Exactly. There's not a lot of continuity attached to them.
Mhm.
And I
That's
think
the one. That's the one we get the bulk of Skull Rangers in too. By the way, I think the
Yep.
second one. I think it was.
I think so. I know the one that I like the most personally is the 2017 annual. There's it's not in. There's another story that Kyle Higgins did about like a week in the life of Jason in one of those anthology issues. I can't immediately recall which issue it is in, but I think just the art is perfect in that. It looks like Austin St. John in the 90s, and it just it fits the character beautifully. But in the 2017 annual, You've got you've got Higgins in there. You've got Trey Moore and Fraser Irving do a nice story about Finster, kind of his origin story, and how he came to sort of become the monster maker, so to speak. Dan Mora does a story in there with Tom Taylor about, it's called Trini's Vacation. There's a story with that Jamal Campbell writes and illustrates about a bunch of different versions of the Black Ranger.
Oh,
Yeah, so just a great package deal.
right.
So I mean, if you're looking to dip your toe into the Boom Studios Power Rangers pool, so to speak, and you can either find it or find it online, I highly recommend that one.
Yeah. Okay. I think my favorite run of like Boom is the Power Ranger Pink or the Pink Ranger, where she makes her own team.
That was
like
good
my
too.
that's my favorite. I think Shatter Grid, the Pink, and then the TMNT crossover. I have only read the first version of it, the first series. I haven't read the second series yet.
Okay. Yeah, I think Dan Mora does both the Ninja Turtle Power Rangers books. He's one of my favorites right now. He does mostly stuff at DC right now. He's doing World's Finest, the Batman Superman book, and he's doing Shazam, and he does various different variant covers and things like that. But yeah, I'm so thrilled that I got to see. I don't know if you'd call it his early work, but I'm thrilled that I got to see him work on Power Rangers and the Ninja Turtles for that matter.
Oh yes. Love that stuff.
It's like when you get a rookie card, you're like, it's a rookie card.
Yeah, it's a rookie card. Yeah,
exactly. Hey, there you go.
Yeah, okay, that's one. And it honestly, the books kind of reinvigorated me to start watching the series again.
Yeah.
So then I started watching more the Power Rangers series, the ones I missed as I grew up and stuff. And then it got me hooked to watch Dino Fury, absolutely really good series. And then Cosmic Fury, which only 10 episodes, but I think they did it really well with the time frame that they had.
Yeah, I think I mentioned this to you when we were talking, but I haven't finished Cosmic Fury yet. I can't do it, man. I can't.
You don't want to end?
Yeah, I mean, I think that if David Yost wasn't there, I would be okay. And I mean, here's the thing, like via Twitter osmosis, I think I mostly know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I just, it's one of those things where like I don't know. I like I said, I think if David Yost wasn't there, I would be okay, and I would be able to sort of compartmentalize it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Kelson Henderson being there doesn't help either. But I mean,
no.
But no, you're right. I mean, I think if the show had to end now, 30 years is a great round number.
Yeah.
Obviously, we would have all liked more episodes, but we had a great cast.
Yes,
with the Dino Fury Rangers, everybody felt. Everybody turned in solid performances. Everybody felt pretty fleshed out character-wise.
Yeah,
and we got Zed back for crying out loud, which they did not have to do.
Yeah.
They
not only Zed, but Master Morpher Zed too.
Yeah, I mean it was
a Morphing Master Zed. I messed that up.
Morphing Master Zed. Yeah, there you go. But no, I mean it ended on not a perfect note, but a note that I felt was well. I can't say that I say that it ended on a note that I felt was respectful because I haven't seen the end yet. But based on what I have seen, I felt respected as a fan.
Yes.
As an adult fan. Which is not necessarily something that should be their first priority, but the fact that they were able to do it is amazing.
Okay. I did get a little sad when Zato finally had to basically die at the end. Yeah. I kind of got sad because you kind of grow with him as his journey from stasis for 65 million years to
Mhm.
being one of the boys, and then
Russell
had
Curry, I did not like. Well, no, I'm gonna end on a positive note with him. I did not like Russell Curry's performance initially. I thought he was a little
Mhm.
bit. I don't want to say I didn't understand it, but he felt very withdrawn to me.
um
But then
I can agree with that.
yeah.
as Dino Fury progressed, you kind of understood that. Well, that's kind of just the character. I mean, he's an alien,
hmm Yep.
So, it he was an acquired taste for me, but I was very much, especially by the
Once you kind of caught on, you're like, oh, and it all kind of makes more sense. You're
yeah.
like,
So there was an
okay,
adjustment
I
period
get
with
it.
Russell Curry, but you know what? He I thought did a great job too.
Oh yeah.
He did great,
The
yeah.
the one character that I had to get a whole used to was Ion. That's the one I had to
Mm.
get used to. He was a little
Yeah.
off for me, but you get to love him by Cosmic Fury, honestly.
Did
Yeah.
they dub Ion's voice?
There's a couple times where I thought they did.
Because like
Yeah.
when he's speaking, and I got nothing against the actor. The actor is very charismatic. The actor's fine, but like it sounds to me like they're like is the
Yeah.
microphone really close to him? Is he what's going on there?
I said the same thing. I thought they dubbed him over, like made him do his lines over again.
And maybe they did.
Doesn't
I
he
don't
have like a
know.
really thick Texas accent too? Like
Yeah,
he's an
he's
actual like
from
actor.
Houston,
He's
so
from
he got
Houston.
that
Oh, he
Houston
is?
accent. Yeah. So
Okay.
there's an accent with him. So maybe they had him on some lines.
Okay. Well, it's I always remember in Dino Thunder, which is my favorite season, Connor's accent famously slipping numerous times in the
Oh
early
yes.
episodes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Send him a note from our teacher. That kind of thing.
Oh, now that you say that. Yeah. Oh, well, Dino Thunder, your
His is
favorite
pretty
season.
rough, yeah.
It is
Yeah.
absolutely.
I,
Even
I do.
even more than Mighty Morphin.
Oh, okay. Well,
To be
I'll
fair,
agree with that.
you get to watch Tommy like roundhouse kick a dinosaur in the face the first
That's
episode.
true.
Come on, you can't say
Yeah,
no to
That's
that.
true.
exactly. Well,
That's
no,
true.
I thought that the show did a great job. That season did a great job balancing new characters, new components, moving a story forward while also including what I'll call legacy elements,
Yes.
which are
Oh yeah.
essentially personified in Jason David Frank's character.
hmm
I mean, that season proved to me that you kind of can have it all if your priorities are in the right place and you do it right.
I did
So
like how they introduced an element that we haven't seen very often was the civilian powers. I
yeah,
did
they
like
did
that.
that. They did that in Ninja Storm, but they
hmm
continued it in Dino, and I think they continued it for most of the Disney seasons, I
Yes.
believe.
hmm
Um,
Yeah, it was
yeah, I
they
mean,
ended it in what RPM?
I think
After
so.
RPM, they ended it.
Yeah,
RPM, they still had civilian-ish powers.
mm. Yeah, I mean,
Ish. Like, well,
it's
they had special abilities per suit.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was a fun way to shake up the action scenes, I guess. I mean, I can kind of take them or leave them,
hmm
but yeah, interesting new component to the action stuff.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Also, it was a lot more out of suit action stuff too, which was great.
That's who. Yeah. Now,
Yes.
there's definitely a question that pokes a lot of the fandom is that in one episode of Dino Thunder, they use a Velociraptor like to ride on, right? Those little
Yeah.
mechanical ones. Where do they go? Where are they at?
I think he shot them about midway through the series.
Yeah.
I think they couldn't show that on a kids show, but
Yeah.
I think that they got tired of the Velociraptors relieving themselves in the basement.
Oh, okay, okay.
There's only so much of that you can take, quite
Straight
frankly.
up, straight up old Yeller
And,
though.
and
Man,
they're
yeah.
dinosaurs. They poop a lot.
Yes,
A lot.
absolutely. There's your title right
No.
there. Dinosaurs poop a lot. Episode 100 and whatever episode this is.
110.
What did dinosaurs poop a lot?
Yeah,
There
yeah.
we go.
Oh man. Okay, all right.
I'm probably gonna make this episode. It's gonna be called.
All right. Oh, look at that!
Hey,
Well,
Dr. O, what happened? What happened to the Velociraptors? They went to live on a state. They lived to live on a farm upstate. What?
That's right.
What?
In upstate California.
Well, would you look at that? The 49ers beat the Detroit Lions, so now everybody can stop with their damn conspiracy theories about how the NFL's rigged.
Oh, jeez.
I like the one I heard recently that the Super Bowl colors are always the colors of the two teams that are playing. And I'm like, no duh.
No duh.
Jeez.
Ah, boy.
In terms of men wearing spandex and helmets and tight outfits and stuff, you guys know where my loyalties lie. I've never been a football guy.
Oh, yeah, I don't blame you. I don't watch the NFL, but I just happen to have it on the background. But,
there you go.
But like you, my loyalty is with spandex wearing crime fighters.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Jim just likes dude in spandex.
Well, hey. There you go.
Look, I can admit to what I like. Men in spandex.
There you go. And ladies too.
Yeah. So there I was in the middle of Barnes & Nobles in spandex.
There you go.
Oh, man.
It's not spandex.
Yeah, give him a Ziggy.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Give him a Dr. K. Give him a Special K.
Do you watch any of the... You watch any of the fan films from like Power Ranger people, the people that like make Power Ranger fan films?
Well, I don't see that many, honestly. Do you? Okay. I mean, I know that there was that one. I think it was Power/Ranger, like the really dark one.
Oh, that was kind of fun. Yeah, it's that one where Zach was a cokehead, and.
Oh, that
Billy
one.
died, and Tommy died, and Rocky went all evil. Which Steve Hardy was actually part of that one, which he had a great time doing it. Apparently, it's really funny.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that one, but do you guys have any recommendations on that front?
Bloodline is pretty good, and it has Christopher Kamen lead makes that one.
Really?
Yeah, and then Unworthy is really good as well.
That one I've heard of. I just haven't seen any of it yet.
Well,
he's gone. He gave up.
Uh-oh.
He's back.
He's back.
Hello?
Yep. There you go.
What happened there?
I don't know what happened. Jim, tell us. IT guy, tell us.
I'm not fixing. I'm not getting paid for this. I'm not fixing it.
All right. Well, I'm back.
Nobody panic, Jimmy.
All right. Well, to round out this episode, let me ask you this: what do you have any good do you have any recommendations for people who want to get into comics?
Yes.
Recommendations for people who want to get into comics. I think that
doesn't matter. DC, Marvel, doesn't matter. What do you recommend?
Mm-hmm.
I think that superheroes are a great gateway. I've used that term a lot on this episode, like a gateway drug.
Uh-huh.
But I mean. There's a lot of people that, for instance, if you want to get into Superman, like what Superman comic should you start with? There's a whole continuity there. Where do you go? Honestly, my recommendation, whether it's a superhero comic, a DC comic, a Marvel comic, my recommendation is to just pick up a comic book that looks interesting to you and start reading, because I think. For me, it was never, people talk about continuity and all that stuff. For me, continuity was never a hassle because I was interested in the story and the characters, and I wanted to learn more about the universe.
Mm-hmm.
But
fair,
I mean,
fair.
In terms of books that would be good to lure people in, I mean, I think anything by Brian K. Vaughan is good. Pride of Baghdad.
Oh,
he's gone again.
Are you looking for a new holiday destination? Then look no further than Ranger Travels. Here at Ranger Travels, we will take you to the most exotic places on one continent. Take Angel Grove, for example. Want to ski? Then take a trip to our frozen wasteland. Fancy a desert walk? Then visit our Sahara area. And are you a budding volcanologist? Then check out our active volcano. It erupts quite regularly. Book your new adventure with Ranger Travels. Ranger Travels is not responsible for destruction of property while on your holiday. If there is a monster attack, Rangers will respond. T's and C's apply.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of Zero to Hero with Billy and Jim and our newest guest, Rob, from
Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Yeah, from Wisconsin. I'm getting a lot of beeps in my thing from the Discord channel, so I'm getting confused. But yeah, thanks Rob for joining us tonight. Thank you. That's my Chad Gable there.
Oh, there you go.
And since it's only audio, I can't do my Tazawa dance, so
where can people find you at, bud?
Yeah.
Say it again, I'm sorry?
Where can people find you at?
You can find me at Comic Book Chronicles on TikTok. You can also find me on Instagram at Robert J. Siebert. I believe that's also my handle on Threads as well.
All right. Well, thanks for coming in and checking out our comic panels from your local shop. Man, that did not work so well. Why?
We're leaving it at that one.
We're leaving it at that. So thanks everyone.
Stick with it.
Thanks everyone for listening, and you can catch us at Zero to Hero across every platform and every podcast platform out there.
If you want to find us on Google, you type in Bulk Skull Podcasting.
And we need to make an exception. Bulk Skull and I forgot his name already.
Elgar.
Oh, dang it, I call myself a Power Ranger fan. How dare I?
You know, Bulk Skull did have interactions with Elgar at one point in space.
Yeah, they were. They were best of buds for a couple episodes.
That's a good season to be
that's
part
Goldar. That was Goldar and Rito, buddy. No, Elgar talked to Bulk Skull. You know what? We're done with this. I'm out. Later. Bye.
Cancel it.
We're canceled.
Oh my god.
I'm not gonna mansplain you, Power Rangers.
Alright, cut it.
Do you want to be a hero, but you're not? Do you want to be a Jiro or a Kojiro, but you can't because you're not Japanese? Have you considered Zio to Hero? Remember, heroes come and go. Idiots are forever. Jimbalee!
Pew, 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 pew.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, you got a back scratcher.
Damn right.
Hell
I broke
yeah.
down and bought one. It was $8 for two of them. I'm like, fuck.
Whoa. Where'd you keep the other one?
In the bedroom.
Oh.
We get through it all night. Like, I'm a back itchy.
What you need is a third one that you put in a little box with the glass around it.
In case of missing back scratcher.
Yeah. Jesus. We're a DEFCON 1 list. Just
what?
I mean.
Oh,
he's back. You're back.
This is the Zero to Hero podcast.